way we caught this guy in the lie right here, and I say we because y'all on this team right here with me on this journey we call the rabbit hole. This is the visit. I want y'all to check this one out right here. Watch what he say.
Do you think life could exist outside of Earth? And I'll say intelligent life.
Intelligent life.
Do you think intelligent life exists outside of Earth?
Yeah, so for intelligent aliens, I'm going to definitely go a little bit more over here. You know,
Low confidence.
I put it as it's possible. Obviously, it happened once. Therefore, it could happen again. Yeah, obviously, intelligence is not somehow contradictory to the way the universe evolves. It can support conscious and intelligent beings, but I think it may be special.
Is there not a bit of a contradiction here, though,
Yeah.
with these two things? Like, you think the universe is infinite?
Shout out to the guy over there at the Diary of a CEO Clips. Because if he ain't asked him that question right there, that scientist would have just skipped over that part right there. He said, ain't that contradicting that you could say I'm not going to spoil it. We're going to get to the show. This is the Visitor Signal here. If you got any alien paranormal content that you want me to react to here at the Visitor, wow, that's the email right there. You send it, I'm going to react. This one right here is crazy. This guy is basically caught in a lie. We caught him red-handed, y'all. Definitely caught him red-handed, and I want y'all to check it out. Let's get to it.
One of the things that actually helped me a lot through my life, funnily enough, is kind of watching what you just showed on the screen there, which was, I watched a video when I was younger of them just zooming out from Earth.
Yeah.
And we talked about feeling insignificant earlier. I mean, there's some of them here. I'll just pick one at random, like this one here. Well, it's just a lady sat on some grass, and she zooms out further and further and further. And when I saw this, I must have been, it was a video like this one. I must have been about 14 years old.
See how,
and at first I had the thought that a lot of people might have, which was,
right there, that video, very interesting right there. The lady is on a lawn and she zooms out to deep space. But for us human beings, we feel that we just so important here. Like, I mean, on Earth, we important. Y'all would think we the top beings here. But if you look at this image that he's showing right now, the lady zooming out, you can see that we just like tiny. We ain't even ants. The way she zoomed out on that camera, and a lot of people are going to say that, oh, we stuck in a bubble. This is AI. It's not happening. But just use your imagination because space is real. All these people saying we stuck in a bubble, flat earthers. Y'all get ahead with that flat earth thing. Listen, space is out there, and y'all want to have like a closed mind to certain things. Y'all never figure it out. But so the ones that's interesting, I want y'all to look at this video right here and just see how small Earth is compared to where we at right now. But that ain't half of what's going on in this video. This one gets crazy. We're going to keep it going.
Which was, oh, like none of this matters because we're so insignificant on the grand scheme of things that, like, what's the point? And then I had this other thought, which has stayed with me ever since, which is, it liberated me from worry.
Yeah.
Because if all of my worries are just a speck in this bigger thing, which are a speck in a bigger thing and a speck in a bigger thing, it meant that I could take more risks in my life.
Yeah.
And not be encumbered by what will happen if and what will people think and et cetera, which kind of liberates one to go and pursue whatever they want to pursue.
Yeah. Carl Sagan with the pale blue dot, you know, if you're familiar with that terminology, he had the Viking spacecraft. When it was going by Saturn, turn around and take a shot of planet Earth through
Look
the
at this right here.
rings.
This is wild.
And in that photo, the Earth is this little tiny pale blue speck, sort of as we saw in the film. As
all of us, you, me, everything that we know, everything that we feel, we care about, pain, hurt, laughter, anything that's emotion is all in that little dot right there. So how we be looking from telescopes from Earth and we see Saturn with the ring around it, that planet looks way bigger than, as you can see, we look like a speck. Saturn looks like at least a basketball when you look at it from a telescope with the ring around it. So just imagine how huge that planet is when you get up close to it. So this is basically a satellite turning around A satellite turning around, taking a picture of where we at. And look at us. Look at us. We ain't even a golf ball. That ain't even an ant's belly. That ain't even an ant eyeball. So, I mean, this picture is crazy right here. I want y'all to just think about this, man. Because when I think about space, and I can't wait to the next episode, because I don't need no videos to react to what I saw. I am a confirmed believer. And I'm not just saying this because, oh, I'm doing alien content right now. What I experienced, I took a trip to Boston, and I'm going to just say that story right there is crazy. I'm going to save it for next episode. It's definitely coming next episode. So y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Stick around because that story is 100% real. And I'm going to just say, listen. But we going to speed past that. Like, comment, and subscribe so y'all can catch that episode. We dropping the episode once a week. You get what I'm saying? So lock in with us over here at Thevisitor.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Back to this image right here. We got to stop, man. Because if y'all believe that it's just us in that little dot, and look at the whole black area, it's no telling what's in the black that you can't see. That looked like a star. That's why certain times I'll be looking at the sky. I look at certain stars and I'll be like, that's not a star, that's a planet. That star is too big. And a lot of times you look at stars, you'll see it blinking. That's strange too. What's going on with the flashing? Like what is that star or planet doing? It's a lot of things going on, but we gonna keep this one going, man.
A blue speck, sort of as we saw in the film as it went by there. And he, in this wonderfully poetic passage, described how everything we care about, everything we love, everything we fight, the rivers of blood that has been spilled to conquer a tiny little fraction of a pixel in space, that gives you a setting where the concerns that you're mentioning of an individual human life, of countries, of nations, you realize how utterly small it is in the cosmological setting. And again, that to me isn't insignificance. As you were saying, it's liberation.
The guy is very smart, but you can tell he was sent. They sent him. He's on our side, but he's not on our side. Like, he's not like a Bob Lazar, David Grush. He's not like them type of people. This guy is sent to basically disguise what's really going on. Because when y'all see what he says, y'all gonna be like, man, why you lie to us in our face? And if this guy, the Diary of a CEO clips, if this guy didn't ask that guy that question, he would have just let it go. Because he definitely tried to make us non-believers at what he tried to say right there. But that's why subscribe to this guy right here. He's a good interviewer. Let's keep it going.
This spectrum of, I guess, confidence in front of us here. And on one end of it, it says low confidence. On this end, it has high confidence. And there's 5 little figurine type things there next to you.
Yeah.
And what I would like you to do is to place them in line with your confidence that the thing is real. So the first one that I'm going to ask you to place is those mini scales which represent free will.
This guy here, free will?
Yes, that's free will. Do you think humans have free will? Are you low confidence or high confidence? I'll push it over further towards you so you can...
I do not think we have free will, and I have high confidence.
Do you think we got free will? Do you think you control your life is the question. It's a deep question right there. You gotta ask yourself, are you in control of your life? So that's basically what he mean by free will. But watch how he break it down, because he is a scientist, so he know what he's talking about, but you gotta read through the lines. Don't let them say things that go over your head. Read through the lines. Let's keep it going.
Have high confidence in that assessment, which I guess means low confidence that we have free will.
What is free will?
To me, free will is really just the everyday sense that you are the ultimate author of your actions, that the buck stops with you when it comes to the decisions that you make for how you are going to respond one way or another in the moment-to-moment existence of life. I don't think that freedom of the will is real. And I can give you a quick sense why. It really is an extension of everything that we've already spoken about, which is, when I look at you, I see a man, but I also imagine that I'm looking inside you and I see your particles. And so you are a man-shaped collection of particles. That is what you are. And each of those particles and the agglomeration of those particles are fully governed by the laws of physics. I don't say that we have those laws yet. We have an approximation to them with Schrodinger and Einstein and all those folks. But I do believe that there is an ultimate...
Look at what he say, the laws of physics. So basically, he's talking about the particles in this guy's body that is being controlled by something. Listen, brother, it's God. That's it, it's God. They don't want to say it, man. I don't know why these people just be like, the ones that's deep into the sciences, they try to make the ones that's spiritual not believe in what they believe in. They saying that, we ain't gonna even say it. You know what I mean? They try to make you think that certain things don't exist. But listen, man, if you are out here and you think that this thing is controlled by you, that you is the ultimate person, that you are God, let's keep it going.
set of
You're not.
principles that guide how your particles behave. You do not have the capacity to intercede in the lawful progression of your particles. So if you raise your hand, it is not you who's doing that. It is the laws of physics guiding the particles in your brain, sending an electrical signal down your arm, causing your muscle to contract or expand, resulting in your hand going up.
The average person gonna say, this dude is cap. Like, I put my arm up. I pointed just now. It was me that just did this to the, like, but what he's saying is, like, it's already sent. Like, your particles is just operating and it's sending signals through your brain, but you just, like, you think you in control of it, but you ain't even in control of it. It's kind of strange, but wait till you break it down, because what I'm getting from what they saying is basically like humans, all of us, we like memory cards, basically. You hear me? Reporting back to the ultimate database, which is God. So he sends us out there, his particles of him, pieces of him, sends it out there to the world, basically to collect energy. I mean, not collect energy, excuse me, collect database of what's going on so he can understand himself. Get what I'm saying? That makes sense? Like, I'm going to send something that's connected to me out there. I don't got to go out there. I could just pull it back, check the memory card, the human, and basically see what that person discovered in this thing that I created called the world, Earth. He break it down a little better than what I'm saying, but that's what I got from what they saying. Let's continue it.
And going on. You don't control the laws that govern those particles.
I didn't make the decision.
You did not. You felt that you did. And so the feeling that you and I and everyone else have, that we make decisions and those decisions result in our action, it's a seductive sensibility. But no, I do not think that you are the place where that choice, if you will, occurred. The choice is actually within the lawful unfolding of the particles. And I can't control that particle motion. Therefore, I can't control the decision. Therefore, I don't control the motion of my arm.
Therefore, I don't control my life?
You don't, in some sense. If you buy into it fully, it can be paralyzing. Or you can recognize it, which I do, and I say, okay, within that structure, I'm going to live my life as fully as I can. And I am able, not always, because I'm a human being, but in the best of moments, I can pull back and have a certain objectivity about the things that happen in my life. And I observe them at a remove. as opposed to being completely wrapped up in the moment to moment. Now, that doesn't make me an aloof person. It doesn't make me somebody who somehow is detached. No, it's just I can analyze the world at multiple levels.
So who is and what is guiding those particles to make the decisions that those particles are making?
The best I can say, and I think the best that we can say right now, is that there is some body of law. Now, what does that mean, a body of law? There is some patterns that repeat in the world.
God, man. Why he don't want to say it, man? Why they trying to make us not believe that it's a God, it's the greatest God out there that we all serve? I mean, the majority. But they want to manipulate us and tell us some things that he about to say. He ain't get to it yet, but you could find a lot of truth into what he's saying. That's why I'm saying, like, when he says certain things, he plays dumb to the questions. And you're going to see right now why he's playing dumb. But it's something else that he say that I'm not really a firm believer in. He makes sense saying it. That's why I don't want to believe him. But you're going to see what I'm saying.
Some body of law. Now, what does that mean, a body of law? There is some patterns that repeat in the world. Now, you drop an apple and it falls on Newton's head repeatedly. You can rely upon certain kinds of particle motion because there's certain regularities in the world. And the regularities in the world are what I mean by the laws of physics. They may be articulated mathematically. Our best guess is, as of today, that math is the best language we have for describing those laws. But out there, I think there are some fundamental patterns. And those patterns ultimately are what determine how the particles move. And so that's all that we are. We are a body of particles that move. And that's responsible for why things do what they do. And remarkably, our brains allow us to self-reflect, to look at what we do and analyze it. And when we do that, we tend to ascribe authorship to ourselves. But that's a story that we tell ourselves. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel part.
I'm just saying, like, you got to think about these scientists. They doing this on a daily basis. Like, if you're a basketball player, you go into basketball practice, you shooting 1,000 shots, laying up the ball, playing defense. You're doing that on a consistent basis. You feel me? If you into podcasting, you're going to be studying how to be the best podcaster. You're going to be looking at clips, reels, doing different things throughout your day to be the best podcaster you could be. Think about a scientist. All day long, they just studying science, space, aliens, stuff that we not sitting there and breaking our brain to try to figure out on a daily basis. So when you hear him like break down certain things, you got to be like, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But who's to say he knows it all? He's just like us. You only gonna know what is there. Like, you're not gonna, it's hard to explain. Like, if it's not there, you're not gonna know about it. Like, a perfect way to describe what I'm saying, excuse me. When they say that the speed of light is the fastest travel in the world, like, to humans, like, who said that that's the fastest way of travel in the world? And we're going to talk about that next episode because that got to do with what I got to talk about. But he don't know. He's not the person that can tell you everything that's going on. So I just feel that a lot of things that he's saying is correct. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot of truth to what he's saying, but they also going to try to steer you in the way of like, oh, it's nothing else out there.
It makes us feel good.
Let's keep it going so you can see what I'm talking about.
Part of the unfolding. It perhaps has an evolutionary utility that if you feel responsible for what you're doing, maybe it helps you to survive. Maybe that's why this way of thinking was inculcated over the course of generation upon generation. Maybe there's an evolutionary explanation. But fundamentally speaking, I don't think it's real.
I was going to say then, well, maybe the particles are trying to survive in this form. But even as I thought about that, I thought, so maybe my particles are making the decisions they make to raise my hand to go on a holiday with my fiance to have kids because they want to survive in this form. But actually, I disappear at some point.
Yes.
But my particles don't.
Right.
They then become dirt or someone else or whatever, or a child. It doesn't seem that they care much about necessarily being in this form.
They don't. I don't think they do.
See how he said, and I didn't even catch this the first time I kind of watched it. You see what he said right there? Like, our particles return back to dirt or its form or something like that. The scientist said yes. Yes, he agrees with him. I caught the contradiction right there. Like what he's gonna say next contradict what he just said right there. It totally contradicts it. So we're gonna continue it. Like, I ain't gonna waste your time, but he definitely contradicted himself right there by saying that our particles return back to where they came from, or dirt or whatever it is. The particles return, the body goes or whatever. But watch what he say.
I don't think they care. I don't even think the word care is applicable to them. The notion of caring is a high-level construct that only emerges when the particles are configured sufficiently to yield a complex information processing system called the human brain.
And consciousness.
And consciousness. Now, if you ask me where consciousness comes from, I don't know. Sort of as we discussed before, I think it's just physical processes. Let's go with that. Assuming that's the case, this conscious self-awareness invents the idea of caring because it's a useful concept for us to organize our lives and our experiences. This conscious self-awareness invents all the other words: happy, sad, meaning, purpose, morality, activity, action, choice, decision, freedom, will, all human-made. These concepts don't exist out there in the universe. There's no notion of freedom of the will floating in space outside the Andromeda galaxy. This is a selection of ideas that we humans as a species have found to give us utilitarian advantage in organizing our experiences. That's all that it is. That doesn't diminish it. I don't go.
So he basically saying that all of these feelings that we're feeling is basically human made, and it's correct. A lot of these emotions that we have is just human made words that give us some type of comfort in our mind to call it something, to have, a feeling by it or something like that. That's basically what I'm getting from what he's trying to say right there. But let's keep it going.
Go around trying to erase my sense of self. I accept my sense of self, but I also see it for what it is, a human construct.
Does that mean that consciousness and everything that I am could theoretically just be, as you said earlier in the sort of pessimistic version of events, random? Totally random. Like, consciousness itself was just the particles came together over a long enough period of time, and then they found this form, and now I can...
It could. And maybe it was random and happened only once on this planet, right? I mean, again, maybe there is life out there, and maybe there's even complex life out there. Maybe even like as big as us or bigger.
What you just said there, buddy. Maybe it's even life out there. Maybe it's life out there complex. Maybe it's life out there bigger. But let's just see what he got to say next, though, if he just said that.
But maybe when we encounter those life forms, they have no idea of what it means to have an inner world.
This, I think it was a physicist, said to me that it was a bit of a spiritual, esoteric idea, but they basically said to me that they think consciousness could come from this sort of original source, and it's divided itself up into the humans, the bees, the birds, to go out there and understand the nature of the universe.
Yeah.
And then when we die, we kind of return to the source. But, I'll give birth to a baby. They'll go off into different corners of the earth and look at different things and have different experiences. And it's all feeding back into this central consciousness, which his sole objective is to understand itself. And
his sole objective is to understand itself. The central consciousness. What we call in this central consciousness, God. Why they don't want to say it? God is going to send out his people, basically his self, break his self out, spread it to the world, go report back to him so he can make a better world. It all makes sense. So you return back to the creator. You heard that saying before, right? Let's keep it going.
It's funny because I heard this idea from this physicist, and then I was in somewhere in Europe, and I was driving down the road, and I saw all of these tourists just like looking up at a mountain, and they're just like looking out at the sea, and they were looking at things that were interesting,
Sure.
which is what we do as humans.
Yeah.
I thought kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
That we're actually just like consciousness is observing.
There's a philosophical position called idealism, and idealism holds that the fundamental truth of reality is consciousness. But fundamentally, everything that I've seen throughout my life suggests to me that that's not how it is. I can't prove it. I hope it's true. But if you ask me what I think is really true, I think that consciousness is something that emerges when there's a sufficient amount of information processing that itself is carried by the motion of particles through various interconnected structures.
Is my dog conscious?
It is, but I think it's got a different level of consciousness. You can tell when they're feeling good, happy or sad or frustrated or intrigued. The ears change, the eyes change, the shape of the face. You can't help but ascribe an inner world to that. And again, I always worry that the dogs, like the fish, or like these humans, think they're so damn special, but we actually are well developed, well beyond them, and we're just playing along. In fact, in New York City, who picks up the poop, right? We pick up the poop, so the dog walks along as like this, king-like being, and we behind them with these little plastic bags. So who's really in charge? But putting that to the side, I do think that the dogs and the cats have a level of conscious awareness. And I think you go down through the animal kingdom. If you were to ask me, does an insect have consciousness? Then I'm less clear. I suspect not. If you ask me whether a virus or a bacterium has consciousness, I don't think so. I don't think there's adequate information processing capacity in those structures to have the kind of rich inner world that we would normally ascribe to a conscious being. But that's all that I think it is. I don't think that there's some uber universal consciousness that's out there that we go back to when we die. Not that I wouldn't like it. I just don't think it's true.
There you go. So let's pay attention to what he got to say right here.
Moreover, I can understand why humans would introduce this idea. Again, it's Ernest Becker and the denial of death. How wonderful to say, yeah, our bodies die, sure, but our consciousness, it doesn't die. Our consciousness, it floats off and it rejoins the universal. Wow, that makes you feel good.
Come on,
and we
son.
tell these stories that make us feel good, and there's nothing wrong with that.
He said, wow. It feels good. Like, come on, son. That's the way of life. Like, of course, we're going to tell ourselves that dealing with this crazy shit called Earth. You want to tell yourself it's something better after this. You feel me? This is it. Like, when you close your eyes, that's it. That's it. Shut. Nothing. Memory that is just blank. That's it. Nothing forever. Come on, son. Stop it, bro. What are you doing here? What the scientists doing here? Let's continue it, man, because he contradicts himself right here. We're going to keep it going.
Moving on to the next one is the universe there on the little card. We talked about this a little bit, and you've given your answer already, but do you think the universe is infinite?
I don't know, but I'm going to put it sort of around here. In fact, lately, I should tell you, the work that I've been doing has imagined that the universe is not infinite. So I've been doing a lot of scientific exploration with mathematics with a handful of colleagues and the kind of weird things that can happen if it's not infinite. And it's very interesting. There's a lot of mileage that you can extract from a universe that you go off in that way and you wind up coming back to your starting point, much like you would on the surface of the Earth. It's a finite extent. But if you ask me, in my heart of hearts, if I was forced to make a choice, I would say infinite with a medium level of confidence.
What about, do you think life could exist outside of Earth? And I'll say intelligent life.
Intelligent life.
Do you think intelligent life exists outside of Earth?
Yeah, so for intelligent aliens, I'm going to definitely go a little bit more over here. I put it as it's possible. Obviously, it happened once. Therefore, it could happen.
It's possible, obviously, happen once. So why you got it at low confidence? Now, that's where, this is where it get tricky at, because if this guy on the Diary of a CEO Clips, if he didn't ask him this next question, he would have just left it there as low confidence. Aliens don't exist in this universe. Like, it's low. It's no chance. But then he tried to downplay it. Watch what he says that really just makes me look at him like, come on, you people that really know what's going on, y'all is being controlled out there to not say certain things. You're scared. You're scared. You be done. You're done. You're done. You say the word, you're done. Get what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen to them. So they ain't going to say but too much, but we going to find out what's going on. We going to climb down this rabbit hole. Let's continue.
Therefore, it could happen again. Yeah, obviously, intelligence is not somehow contradictory to the way the universe evolves. It can support conscious and intelligent beings, but I think it may be special.
Is there not a bit of a contradiction here, though, with these two things, that you think the universe is infinite?
Oh, when I say this, I should say within the observable universe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in the
within the observable universe, he just said that, he said, then you just contradict yourself. If you think the universe is vast, why wouldn't you think that aliens could live in this vast universe? Like, why would you put it so low? And then we'd say, I take that back. In the observable universe, like the stuff that's close to Earth and close to our basically star systems and stuff like that, that's where he's saying that I don't think aliens exist. Like shit that we could see that's observable to us. But he says that in the deep space, he think aliens, it's a high chance. He put it, let's continue it. Let's continue.
In the entire expanse of the universe as opposed to the observable part, which again is a part that even in principle we could have connection with, then yeah, I would absolutely put it in exactly the same place because there'd be copies of us out there.
He put it at the same place, high confidence, that there will be copies of us out there. I ain't gonna spoil you this one though. I want y'all to go over there to the Diary of a CEO clips and watch the rest of this video because he says some interesting things at the end of this video too. But right there is all I needed to know. We caught him in a lie right there. You tried to say aliens wasn't real, low confidence, but when he asks you the question, then you sit there and say, no, I think I put this in the same thing as the world being as big, infinite. I put the aliens up there, high confidence. Yeah, they out there. Oh yeah, they out there. So if they out there, what that mean? You are now being watched.
You didn't see this. You don't remember anything. This is the Visitor, and you are being watched.